ironically, my favourite venue is because of good memories. And it was a place we used to go in Germany called the Jerry Weber Centre. We used to have an event there called the German Darts Championship in between the Worlds and the Grand Slam. And I always used to love going there. It was enormous, great crowds, very much like the Euro Tour now. That was always my favourite, but speaking more recently, Dusseldorf, the Maritime Hotel, pretty hard to beat. Crowds with me. Never really had much in the way of support, but the one time I did get it was when I was playing against Phil Taylor at the back end of the Circus Tavern match, and that was just a little bit different. Before we had these huge Euro Tour crowds and the way that darts has evolved, that crowd was pretty special, and I'll hold it pretty dear to my heart for the rest of my life. I love the Grand Prix. I think it's a great pure form of the game. I think when you're starting on a double, you really sort the men from the boys, and it finds people out. And I always warmed to that tournament. I always felt comfortable playing double start, and I don't think we play enough of it. So World Grand Prix was always a favourite of mine. I'd probably be working in finance like I was before I turned professional. I mean, I'd love to be a professional golfer, but I was never really that good enough to tick that box. But I'd probably be working in finance because I worked with banks and investment firms in the past. Unquestionably the semi-final between Cross and Van Gerwen at Ali Pali. I was in the press area with my head in my hands for probably the best part of an hour watching the back end of that match. It was exhilarating. I was sweating watching it, and I can't imagine what it was like playing it. Maybe one day when I read Rob Cross or Michael Van Gerwen's book we'll find out, but that was probably the best game I'll ever watch. A lot of my favourite matches were in my first World Championships. The least stressed I've ever been in a match was against Adrian Gray in the first round, but the next two games are two of my favourites. One against Adrian Lewis, which went to the last set, and I would have to say the Dennis Priestley game in the last 16 of the 2009 World Championships, because Dennis is one of my heroes. I performed really well when I was 2-0 down, won the next 4 sets, and the way I conducted myself in that game was probably the most professional I've ever been. My toughest opponent for the best part of my good years was Kim Huybrecht, because I just wanted to beat him so badly that I couldn't control my willingness to stay within a good zone. I always wanted it too much. I eventually beat him on the floor by learning from mistakes that I'd made previously, and consequently I got a really good relationship with Kim, but for a while there it was a bit angsty. I have the Robert Thornton Jockey Wilson Cup shirt, which only took place once, before the World Cup even started. And Robert was kind enough to give me that shirt, and I treasure that because nobody else has got one. There's one that sticks out for me, and I was in Barnsley one day, and Dennis Priestley got wind that I was buying a house. I wanted to try and put down some roots somewhere, because I've been known as a bit of a nomad, and Dennis came up to me and said, "Oh, I know of a house that's for sale pretty close to Barnsley," and he said, "Do you want to come and have a look at it?" I said, "Yeah, of course." Little did I know that it was the old Priestley family home, and I walked around that house thinking I could buy the home that Dennis Priestley was in when he won his world titles. That's pretty special. It wasn't right for me, but then after that he took me to his house, which was about 4 doors down, which he'd renovated, and I spent the whole day sitting with Dennis Priestley, the 1991 Lakeside Trophy staring at me in the face, and I'm just sitting in his home, just nervous, drinking tea with one of the greatest players of all time. Can never take that away from me. I loved every minute of it. I love darts because when I was a kid, you looked at the television and you didn't have cable television, you didn't have Sky, you didn't have anything like that. You had these 4 channels, and darts was all over this. And there were people around who wanted to be footballers, they wanted to be golfers, they wanted to be rugby players. I thought it would be cool one day to be a dart player and have that kind of thrill. I love the fact that the game has given me that ambition when I was a kid. The PDC has given me the vehicle to fulfill my dreams, and it's ticked every box really, with a little bit of a ... there because the career isn't finished yet.